We got and Rob, we're gonna get into this, and I'm looking forward to this conversation. Now, any of you that are really active on social media and obviously sports fans, you probably saw what went down between Cam Newton and this kid who I think they said is a 15-year-old kid who was at a camp
stuff.
or a tournament, that Cam had put together, and 7-on-7 high school tournament, a bunch of
which
high
is
school
big time
kids
in
there.
football, right? The 7-on-7 stuff.
And so there's a specific angle I want to go at this from Rob. But first, let's hear the exchange that went viral on social media between Cam and this kid.
You're a free agent. You're a free agent. I'm rich. You're a free agent. I'm rich. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You're a free agent. I'm rich. You're a free agent. I'm rich. He's a free agent. I don't even know where your daddy is. Let me talk to your dad. Let me talk to your dad. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. Talk to your dad. You're a free agent. You ass. Talk to. Let me. Where's your dad? Where's your pop?
Now, if you heard the end, I guess we can say that on the radio, Rob G, right? What the kid, because he was saying, you ass, like you ain't no good. That was, even more than the free agent stuff to me, that was what I found most offensive, that you sitting here calling this NFL MVP, you ass, you ain't no good.
You're calling a grown man, Chris. What?
Right, and I don't think he was calling him an ass, but I think he was saying it like, you ain't no good. You suck. I think that's how I took it. But maybe he was calling him that. Whatever.
You suck. You suck. ASS. Is that what he's saying?
No, just that. It's like a term for you ain't no good. You stink.
Yes, on behalf of the younger generation,
please,
calling somebody ass is slang for you being not good at something.
Right. So if you want to say somebody can't rap, you say you ass, whatever.
Is that it? Okay.
But here's now the kid did apologize today. Rob G, if you can read maybe an excerpt from it, he put it on his social media and he apologized.
Well, he's getting killed all over the place.
Right. And I'm sure the adults in his life put him up to it. But here's a little, Rob G, read a little bit of it.
All right, here's a portion of it. On his Twitter account, first and foremost, I want to express my deepest apologies to Cam Newton, my entire organization, and my coaches for my actions at the 7-on-7 tournament this past weekend. I did not intend for it to get as far as it did. First, I would like to start off by saying my parents never taught me to disrespect people. He had it backwards, but disrespect people. Right. As a football player, I let my competitive side get the best of me, and it was a huge miscommunication. It was in the midst of the moment, and I realized how a lot of you took it as disrespect. I never meant to humiliate and let anyone down. And he continues, but that's the gist of it.
Let me just say this, Rob, and then you can go tell us what you think about it, because I want to set it up this way. Look, the kid's 15. I don't want this shouldn't be, a death sentence for he can't be successful. Let's hold it against him. None of that. I did some stupid things at 15, and even a little later, actually, than that.
Come on, Chris. Admit it. Your freshman year in college before you became born again. All right, let's just call it the way we see it now.
I did a stupid thing after my freshman year.
Okay,
I did some stupid things in high school. So
I'm saying, all right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't want to condemn this kid. But here's the angle I want to approach it from, Rob. We were doing Undisputed this morning, and LeVar Arrington was on with us, and he coaches 7-on-7, and we got TJ Houshmandzadeh on at the bottom of the hour, former Pro Bowl wide receiver who also coaches, high school kids. And LeVar kind of took up for the kid. And he was like, hey, that's just how all these young kids are today. They come at me. They come at Hoosh. We've been on 7-on-7s, and they done talk down to us former NFL. Like, he was saying that's just how they are. And Cam was engaging the kid. And that's just how you have to do it today if you really want to, at some point, be able to get through to them. I disagree with a lot of what he was saying. But, Rob, let's go whether you want to hit it from that angle or just the overall situation. What are your thoughts?
I disagree. That's the only way you could get at these kids. It's totally disrespectful, Chris. It's just did Cam put this together? Is this his 7-on-7 tournament, or was he an invited guest?
It's his tournament. Yes.
Dude,
He's going
you're
out of his way to help this kid, right?
You're going to the Cam Newton 7-on-7 tournament. Have some respect for that guy. That's not another guy from another team, Chris, you're going at.
Right.
This guy was an NFL MVP. He's played in the league. He's done a lot of things. Have some respect. That's why he brought up his whole idea about his parents didn't teach him to do that, Chris, because that's a reflection of your family. It is.
You know what?
Right?
If my kids did something like that,
you would be outraged. You would be
man.
furious. Like, how in the world could you go out and do something like that to our family and our family name? And that kid, and I'm with you. He's 15. He'll live. People bump their heads all the time. You get back up. You understand what you did, and you live on. I don't want the kid to feel like, my God, nobody wants him to play football. He can't be on any team, or something crazy like that.
Right.
No. But understand there is some respect that you have to have for your elders. And if that just was over the top for me. Joking around a little bit, Chris, a give and take, I got that. That's what that wasn't that. And it didn't feel right to me.
You're absolutely right. And that's what I think some people, and I think LeVar was looking at it this way, they were joking. No.
Nah.
Because I think when Cam's walking by and the kid starts yelling, you a free agent, and Cam's like, I'm rich, and he walks toward the kid, I think he's thinking, the kid's going to laugh, man. I'm playing.
Right.
Like kind of like
right,
lighten
right.
up. And the kid keeps going at him. And I think when Cam was like, where's your dad? I think, and I'm just speculating, but I think Cam's thought process was, I'm not going to get into it with this little kid, but I'll get into it with your dad. And I don't mean physically fighting, but I mean like tell his dad, look, control your boy.
Right.
I'm out here for him. I'm trying to help him.
You're here at my tournament.
Yeah. And so I think that's what it was, but I'm with you on LeVar. Look, first of all, if he's saying this how the kids are, this was the only kid we saw doing this.
Nobody else did it, Chris. Right. Nobody
the
else.
The other kids seemed respectful. All right. And so that's number one. And number two, even if that is the case, let's say many of these kids are like that. That don't make it right. It ain't right. You have got to have respect. Rob, I never would have thought, would you ever think about going at a professional athlete like that? Like you on their level?
Never. I would have never been able to do that or speak out in a situation, even if I didn't like. Chris, I told you this story once before. Even people who I'm not fond of, I respect a certain degree of, who they are and where they fit in, okay? So I don't have to like you to have respect for you. Right. And I'll never forget, I was at the World Series in the Yankees dugout before the game. And Rudy Giuliani starts to walk towards me, Chris. Not a Rudy Giuliani fan forever, for a long time. Not recently, okay? Not recently. I'm not talking about
Yeah,
just
like
because of the Trump
way
stuff.
back. Right.
I'm talking about way back. He starts walking towards me. There's nowhere to go. I'm right there. He's looking dead at me. He sticks his hand out like to shake my hand.
Right.
He's the mayor of New York. I'm not a fan. What do you think I did?
Shook his hand.
I shook his hand.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
I could have tried to snub him or be like, dude, get away from me, or I can't stand you. I could have done any of that. There's a certain degree of respect that I think you owe people. That's just me.
Well, and here, you're absolutely right, and you handled that well. But also, you know what? You're a grown man, or you were a grown man at that
I was
time.
a grown man, right.
So
right.
Even that is different in that this is a teenager speaking to a grown man. You darn near should be calling him Mr. Newton.
Exactly.
I mean,
You're
really. And so I just did look again. If this generation is really like that, and we're gonna take calls on this, if you're in the generation, millennials,
we
young
would love
kids,
to
whatever,
hear from you.
We want to hear from you. If you coach them, whatever, we want to hear from you. But if this is how this generation is, it needs to change. It's not we got to go along with. This is not some innocuous thing of, they just different. It's not them wearing their hair differently or having different style of dress or anything.
Yes.
This is respect. This is a moral issue. And Rob, I work with a lot of young kids too. And sometimes we as adults, we got to tell these kids what time it is. I was speaking to a bunch of young kids. It was kids in a church basketball league. This was a few years ago. And there were several adults, myself, and several grown men talking to these kids. It must have been 60 kids. And they play in the church league. And all black and a couple Hispanics. Okay. And some of the brothers who were speaking to them, some of the adults had played big-time basketball. Not in the NBA, but one guy played overseas.
College basketball, right.
Yeah, played against Patrick Ewing, played in the Big East, Big Boston College, all that. And another guy played overseas too. And these kids are all think they're going to the NBA. And the adults were like, they were sugarcoating it. They were like, just not telling them the truth. And they seen these kids play. And I got up, I said, look, ain't none of y'all going to the NBA. None of you.
Right.
You're not good enough. This is a church league. You don't play at your high school. I said, this is the direct question. I said, have you seen Jim Boeheim in the stands at the church league games? Mike Krzyzewski, you see any of them at the games? You're not. I'm sorry. And one kid, well, why not? How can you say you're not good enough?
Right.
I see you play. All right? And you're not doing, and there are some kids who have a reason to think that. Even if they're not all Americans, maybe they're all state, even if they're just all city, at least that's something. You're pretty good. There's a reason to believe you might get to the NBA. But we're not doing these kids any favors by just letting them get away with unrealistic dreams and, not telling them how they're going to have to behave publicly to get ahead in a society. It ain't just this society. It's common courtesy and respect that all people need to have. And I just was like, the way I thought Cam handled it well. Him saying I'm rich. We could do without that maybe, but I think he's playing with the kid,
He was initially, right?
Yeah.
I think he was initially.
So
I do believe he did the right thing, Chris. You're a grown man. You're not going to get into it with a kid, a 15-year-old kid about stuff that this kid like he should just have a certain degree of respect for Cam Newton, whether you like him or not. But just there's a certain degree of respect.
Is this just indicative of how millennials are, the way that kid was talking to Cam Newton?
Let's go to Brandon in Chattanooga. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Brandon?
What's up, man? First time calling, long time listening.
Man, we appreciate you. I thought so. When I saw Chattanooga, I was like, Chris, we haven't gotten a call from Chattanooga.
Right.
Hey, man, I listen to y'all every day, all day, man. But as far as this new generation, man, that's kind of the norm, man. I coach youth sports all day. And they used to try to come at me like that. But, man, look, you got to check them soon as you get them because if they feel like they can disrespect you, they're going to do that.
Wow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That I hear you. I mean, kids are going to get away with what they can.
Test you.
So when you check them, I mean, do parents try to check you, or are they cool with it? They like it that you're doing that? And do the kids eventually become respectful and they know that's your program or what?
Oh, man, look, you play for me, that's the first rule. Parents, they don't come at me crazy because I don't come at the kids crazy, but I let them know who's in charge. I was caught up like that. So I'm not going to let nobody disrespect me, and usually once we spare it out, we're all good to go.
There you go.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
Good.
Appreciate it.
That's how it should be done.
Stephen in Pennsylvania, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
What's going on, guys? Hey,
Stefan,
you got to get close.
Stefan,
to your phone.
Yeah, what are you? Are you on a speaker or something? We can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I had you guys on speaker. I just put you guys back in my ear. Can you hear me better?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's better. Okay.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm 25. I was born in '95, and I noticed that once we started to get the kids getting from the 2000s, it's like something about the 2000s era. Like it's a thing of disrespect. Like they have an entitlement of they made it before they made it. You know what I mean? I have friends that played basketball. Actually, one of my good friends, he played D1 at Auburn. And his freshman year, he thought he was going to get to the league. And he ended up messing up, and now he didn't get no scouts. He didn't get drafted, and he plays overseas. That's good for him, but his mentality that he had already made it, and he was too cocky. He ended up, having kids down there. It messed it up for him. So when I'm seeing this, that's the first time I heard about that Cam Newton thing with the 15-year-old on the radio, and it's crazy that his pop should have put him he got to teach his son that when you're in this position, you're not in that position yet. To even speak to an adult like that, like I grew up like that too. You feel me? If that would have went far, my mom would have beat me in front of everybody. That's just how I grew up. You know what I mean?
I agree. No doubt about it.
Well, right, because that's a reflection on your parents.
Yes.
Am I right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And me with my kids, I know I got an 8-year-old, my oldest right now, and I just instill in him is always respect adults. Even if they look crazy to you, the respect is a minimum for an adult because they're older, they're wiser, regardless of the fact.
All right, thanks for the call.
Good call. Good to be on. I'm a big fan of you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. What about Jawan in Colorado? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing
Good,
great.
man. How are you?
Oh, man, I had to take a break after the Super Bowl, but that's another conversation, guys.
Yes, me too.
I was fine after the Super Bowl for some reason.
I was sick to my stomach. I'm still sick.
hey, when I listened to that, guys, I was taken aback. I think that level of disrespect coming from a young man is absolutely uncalled for.
Yep.
And I remember I was walking through the airport on a visit to Tennessee for football, and I saw OJ. And I was always in the Jim Brown camp, and I had just got done talking to a guy. We debated who was better. But, when I saw OJ, I shook his hand. He stopped me. He saw me in football attire. He stopped me and talked, but I would have never, ever thought to say
Disrespect
something
him, right.
something contentious or aggressive. And guys, I'm going to say one last thing on that, and I don't know if y'all going to follow this or not. We changed. The African-American community changed after hip-hop and rap. We became a more aggressive people and more braggadocious behavior, which I've always thought was detrimental. But for him to challenge Cam Newton like that, I can't see it. I think we got to check ourselves.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, the hip-hop, that's a whole different conversation maybe for another day. But, the kid, that was just – I never would have crossed my mind to do that, Rob.
Over the top. No, definitely. Let's get to Max in Fresno. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Max?
Hi, guys. Long time, first time.
What's up, Max? Another first-time caller. Wow, we appreciate that, Max.
I try to call all the time, but the line's always busy. But
That's
glad
Rob
I got through.
G's fault.
Yeah, he's too busy eating salads.
But go ahead. What's your point, Max?
So I do think that kids nowadays are taught differently, and they aren't as, pushed on respecting elders. I work with customer service for over 9 years, and I see kids disrespecting parents all the time. An example was I was at the bank, and mom was trying to, get some money, and the daughter was, asking all these questions, really loudly. And she was like, "Oh, Mom, you only got $100? You broke." Like
what?
That's so, yeah, that's so disrespectful.
I would have been broke after I said
You would have been
something
broke
like
in
that.
half, Chris. If you would have told everybody in the bank how much money your mother had.
I know. I hear you. So, especially, growing up Asian, with Asian parents, you and that every time you talk back, you getting smacked,
Yep.
Yeah, nah, man. Look, I had a story quickly. My daughters, they're 22 now, when they were, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade.
Out on their
Fifth
own,
grade.
paying their own rent.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
it's a blessing. But they like 5th grade, right? And their school, the teachers taught the kids to call them by their first name. So they call their teacher Sarah.
And
or
they came home and said, "Hey, Chris."
Well, they knew better. My kids knew better. But we're in the car one day, them two, me, my wife, and one of their friends. And the little girl, she calls me Chris. What? She said something like, "Where we going, Chris?" Or something, whatever she said. And First of all, I was totally shocked. Like,
Right,
and
you're
my
like,
girls
Kobe
were shocked.
Chris? Right.
My girls were shocked. So I looked back and I was like, look, it's my name is Mr. Broussard. All right?
Right.
You can call me Mr. And the girls, my daughters were like, yes, he's Mr. Broussard. To their friend, like, I'm look, I get it. Maybe you want to. There's a fine line, Rob, right? There has to be
Chris,
some type of
I still
authority.
call my friends' parents, right?
Mr.
Miss
Right.
Smith or
Yes.
Miss Weeks.
I'm
I
the
still to
same
this
way.
day. I'm
the same way.
57. I don't call my friend's mom, Miss Weeks, Margaret or her first name. I just don't feel right.
Right.
Right?
I agree. I agree. And some people will look at this and say, oh, that's generation. You
Oh,
old
right.
man, get off my lawn. But look, there is a basic principle of respecting your elders and respect for authority. And look, all of us out there, let's teach that to the young kids. All right, teach that to them.